For centuries, scientists have labored to rid the world of those pests and scourges which have brought suffering and misery on mankind. But there is still one scourge which has defeated all their efforts, one menace which stalks abroad, leaving misery and suffering in its wake, a scourge so terrible that strong men quail and shudder at the very thought of it, the scourge of a nagging wife.
And it's no use you pretending that you're so absorbed in your precious experiment that you can't hear what I'm saying, because I know you can hear every word. And the only reason you're pretending is because you haven't got an excuse worked out. And you needn't think you can work one out to fool me. I've been fooled long enough. I know you and your little ways, and I know Annette. And I know you were discussing me when I came into the room. The minute I saw you whispering together like a couple of conspirators, I knew exactly what you were doing, so you needn't think I don't. I phoned Annette, and of course she denies it. I wouldn't expect that woman to do anything else. But you needn't think you can do the same, because I won't have it, you hear? I'm going to get to the bottom of this if I have to stay here all night. Do you realize I've been married to you for 6 years, and all I've had from you in that time has been... child that's tired of its toys. Now, don't suppose you've stopped to think who's going to pay for the damage. You men are all alike. First you lose your temper, then you lose your head, and then you go and do something you're sorry for afterwards. Just because you know you're in the wrong, haven't the courage to look me straight in the eye and say so, you go and do a silly thing like that. Tony, 6 years you've been working in this laboratory, and you can't even remember the way out. Really, you make me sick. And what's going to happen when the company finds all its apparatus smashed? I'll tell you. They'll knock it off your salary, and then who'll suffer? Not you. If only I could have my time over again, I wouldn't make the same mistakes, I can tell you. You could come to me and say, Molly, darling, I love you. Please marry me. Make me the happiest man in the world. But you think I'd fall for that a second time? Oh, dear me, no. Once bitten, twice shy. I know just how much your pretty speeches mean. Once you've gotten to the altar and tied you for life, then what would happen? I tell you, you'd be at it again, coming home late, reeking of beer, smoking that filthy pipe all over the house, making... My mother, she warned me often enough. I can hear her now. All men are alike, she used to say. Only some are more depraved than others. And you've only got to look at that Preston boy to know he's not to be trusted. His eyes are too close together and his mouth's too narrow, and there's a shifty look about him. I tell you, if you marry him, you're marrying trouble, and you live to regret it. Tony, put those lights on again at once, do you hear? Very well, I'll put them on myself. Ow! Tony, I've put up with this long enough, and I'm not going to put up with it any longer. Either you come straight home with me now, or I go straight to Mr. Wright. Nobody else would tolerate this treatment. There I sit all day by myself, with not a soul to talk to. And in the evenings, when I expect my husband home to give me a little company, something to break the awful monotony, he says he's got to work late. Well, it's not good enough, and I won't stand for it, you hear? I know my rights, and I'm determined to have them. And it's no use you pretending you're not listening, because I know better. I've sat down under this long enough, and now I'm going to speak my mind. And I don't care what you're doing or how important it is, you're going to listen to me for a few minutes. And it's no use you throwing that on the floor. It won't do any good at all, and I'll tell you why. My patience is exhausted. I won't stand any longer, you hear? But this time he took a mean, underhand advantage. He didn't throw it on the floor. He threw it at me.
Now, would you tell his lordship of any other occasion on which your husband ill-treated you?
That will not be necessary, Mr. Hotchkiss. I have already heard enough, more than enough, to convince me that it will be in the best interests of the husband, who I may say has my sincerest sympathy, if I grant his wife a decree nisi against him. And if I may make one further observation, it is that his freedom is extremely cheap at the price.
We're looking for someone to head up the research station at Lembury. It's miles from anywhere, not the place. Sir Edward Hardwick used to be in charge down there, but something went wrong with an experiment last week, and he was killed. We badly need someone to take his place at once. We're on the edge of something really big. It is absolutely essential that the work should go on unchecked. Now, how about it?
Is it really lonely?
Really?
Not a woman on the place?
Not one.
Well, sounds all right, I'll take it. That's all right, sir. You'll find the house on the right, past those huts. Okay, right, thanks.
Can I help you?
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm Mr. Preston.
Oh, I'm Peabody, sir. Good evening. Your room is ready for you. First door at the top of the stairs. Would you like to go up now?
No, they'll just shove my bags up there. We'll do they're outside. I think I'd like to meet the others first.
Oh, you'll find the other gentleman in the saloon bar, sir.
In where?
The saloon bar, sir. It's just straight ahead.
Oh, thank you.
999, old man.
88, old boy.
How do you make that?
Well, 103 less 8 to 7, 16, double 8.
That's right. Well, you didn't get 87. It was only 85.
Well, it's double 9 then.
That's right. Just it. Oh, jolly good shot. What are you going to have?
Pint?
Peabody! Oh, sorry. Didn't hear you come in. Peabody?
Good evening. My name's Preston.
Oh, I'm Fotheringham.
I'm Prendergast. How do you do?
How do you do?
Expect you'd like a drink.
Well, thanks so much, I would, yes.
Peabody! Sir? Oh, customers waiting, Peabody.
Yes, sir.
What do you have? I'm afraid there's only water.
Just forget those bottles. They're fake.
The wallet will do very nicely.
Have one yourself,
thank
Peabody.
Yes, sir.
Then you better get on with the dinner. Mr. Preston will be expecting something special on his first night.
Yes, sir.
I hope he gets it, sir.
Afraid you won't, you know. Sure, yes.
Come in.
Dinner will be in 5 minutes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Peabody.
Yes, sir?
I want to ask you something. Any women on this station?
No, sir. At least I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
Well, I've never seen one. But you know what these young chaps are. Boys will be boys.
What do people do in the evenings?
Well, personally, sir, I fiddle.
You fiddle?
Yes, sir, I play the cello. Oh, but it's all right, sir. I won't disturb you. My room's on the other side of the house. Anything else, sir?
No, I don't think so, thank you.
Thank you.
Then we three are the only people living here, are we?
Yes, sir. The junior gentleman and the staff live in the huts across the road.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be 5 here altogether, but 2 of the married ones live out now.
Oh, where?
Lembridge. That's the local village, 11 miles away on the London road.
So the nearest woman's 11 miles away, is she?
Oh, no, sir. There's one at Elm Corner. That's only 5 miles as the crow flies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course, she's 86 and has a wooden leg. Oh, I don't think you'd like her, sir.
You married?
No, you?
No. You?
No.
I only ask because personally I can't stand women. Nothing. Oh, I'm going to turn in. Ugh. I think I'm going to like it here. Peabody's cooking is a bit rough on the duodenum, but it's a nice pot.
Yeah.
I'll see you at breakfast. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice fellow.
A bit talkative.
Oh, never mind. Soon get over that. Five to one, you don't do it in three.
How many do you take?
2. Oh, bad luck. 1. Answer the phone, will you? No, all right. Hello? What? Who? Who? Oh. Oh, all right, yes, send him along. Yes, I'll tell Mr. Preston.
Peabody! Tell Mr. Preston the American Army is here and wants to see him, will you?
Better pack up. Visitors on the way.
Oh, no, you don't. Not until I've had another crack at it.
Mr. Preston?
This way, sir. Blast. Oh, sorry, Blast. Colonel Sultzman.
Ah, come in, Colonel. Mr. Preston's down in a moment.
Thank you.
Have a drink?
Thank you, no. Don't drink. Bad for the liver.
Smoke.
Thank you, no. Don't smoke. Bad for the heart.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you, no. I'll stand up for a bit if you don't mind.
My friend, Mr. Fotheringham.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir? Been over here long?
24 hours.
Oh, staying long?
24 hours.
Then you won't see any of the cricket?
No, I guess not.
Pity.
Ah, here's Mr. Preston. Tony, this is Colonel
Sultzman, United States Army. That's your service, sir.
How do you do? What can I do for you, Colonel? Have a drink.
Thank you, no. Don't drink. It's bad for the liver.
Oh. Smoke.
Thank you, no. Don't smoke. Bad for the heart.
Oh, well, what can I do for you?
Well, it's like this, Mr. Preston. I stopped off here on my way to Berlin to carry out a special mission. I'm supposed to deliver a certain something to Sir Edward Hardwick.
I'm sorry, Sir Edward's dead.
Dead? You don't say.
Yes, he was killed in an accident here 2 weeks ago.
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
I'm sorry, it must be quite a shock for you. Was he a great friend of yours?
No. No, I never met him. It's just that I don't know what to do now.
Can I help?
Well, it's kind of hard to figure out. You see, I never knew the guy. All I had to do was to deliver him a certain something.
What sort of certain something?
A girl.
A girl?
Yes, she's his niece. She's been in America all through the war. You know, one of those sea evacuees. Now she's come back to rejoin the old man. I'm going to have a tough time telling her about this.
Oh, dear.
Give me another one like that, will you, pal? You see, she's only a kid. And he's all she had in the world. No father, no mother. Just this old scientist. She adored him. I don't know what's going to happen to her now. What is going to happen to her now? I'm taking a plane out of here in the morning. I'm due in Paris tomorrow. I don't suppose you gentlemen would...
No, that's quite impossible. This is strictly a bachelor establishment. There's not a woman on the place. Besides, it's dangerous. I mean, the work's dangerous. No, that wouldn't do at all, I'm afraid.
Hasn't she any relatives she could go to?
No one.
No friend?
Not that I know of.
Surely there must be someone.
Well, I'll ask her again. She's just outside.
What? Do you think she's here now?
Yes, in the car. Well, if you gentlemen will excuse me.
Poor fellow. Wouldn't have his job for all the rice in China.
Oh, me. Jolly bad show.
Now, look here. I don't want to appear heartless. But there's one thing we've got to be absolutely adamant about.
What's that?
She can't stay here.
Oh, good heavens, no.
Quite impossible.
Well, if this American fellow's itching to get off to Paris, and the girl really hasn't got anywhere else to go, you'll try and palm her off onto us. Sure, tomorrow's Tuesday. It'd be utterly impossible to have a small girl clutching up the place here.
I should think so.
Of course. Well, we've got to be really firm. The moment we weaken, we haven't a chance. Agreed?
Agreed.
Right, and the moment he comes back... Look out here, he's coming now. Well, how did she take it?
Wonderfully, poor kid, wonderfully. It upset me to see how calm she was. He was only her great-uncle, but still, he was all she had in the world.
Well, you know, kids don't feel the same way about these things as grown-ups.
Have another?
Thank you, no. Bad for the liver. Look here. I'm going to ask you guys a very great favor. Do you mind if the kid stays here for a day or two? You know, just till her lawyer can fix things up.
No, that's absolutely impossible.
You see, we have no convenience. Did you see what I mean?
This is no place for a child. Much too dangerous.
Listen, are you guys trying to tell me you want to turn that poor kid out at a time like this? Out of this house that used to be her uncle's, out into a world where nobody knows her? Nobody to take care of her? Gentlemen, I'm surprised at you. I wouldn't treat a dog like that. Really, I wouldn't.
But surely she'd been much better looked after than some have told.
You tried to get into a hotel lately?
No, but...
You know how far the nearest hotel is?
Yes, but...
Do you think that poor kid's in any fit condition to go around looking for a place to sleep tonight? Tonight of all nights? Gentlemen.
Yes, but...
So all I ask you is, what is the answer? Yes or no? That's all I ask.
Oh, very well, she can stay here overnight, but not a day longer. Tomorrow our lawyers have got to find her somewhere else.
Don't worry. They will. Well, boys, you'll never regret this.
Well, I hope you're right. Fotheringham, give Peabody a shout, will you?
Peabody!
Yes, sir. You'll never regret this as long as you live. I promise you that.
You call, sir?
Yes, Peabody. There's a little girl in the car outside. Will you ask her to come in? And then take her bags up to Mr. Prendergast's room. He'll double up with Mr. Fotheringham tonight.
You mean she's going to stay here, sir?
Only just for tonight, that's all. She's Edward's niece, and she's got nowhere else to go. She's had rather a bad shock, and we want you to take great care of her. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Peabody.
Well, here are all our official papers, you know, passports and traveler's checks, etc., etc.
Oh, got a lawyer's name?
No.
Oh, we can give you that, Tony. He came down here to clear up things after Sir Edward bought it. Nice chap. Name of ink pen.
Used to play cricket for Surrey.
Too inclined to nibble at the loose ball, I always thought, but...
Excuse me, sir. But, is she to come in, sir?
Yes, please, Peabody.
Very good, sir. Miss Hartley.
Come right in, Gay. I want you to meet three regular fellas. Gay, this is Mr. Preston. Mr. Prendergast.
Fotheringham.
Ah, beg your pardon. Yes, of course. This is Mr. Prendergast.
Welcome to Benbury.
I'm sure you'd like to go up to your room and freshen up. I'll just pass you over to Peabody. Oh, Peabody, would you show Miss Hartley to her room?
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot. Well, goodbye, my dear, and lots of luck.
Thought you said she was a kid.
That's right, Mr. Preston. Just a kid. 19. That's all she is. Well, I must be off. Goodbye, and thanks again, Mr. Preston. Mr. Fotheringham?
Prendergast.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Fotheringham. Mr. Prendergast? Holy mackerel. I was forgetting the most important thing of all. I don't know whether you guys noticed it or not, but Miss Hardwick is dumb.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. She seemed quite bright to me.
No, I mean dumb literally. She can't speak.
Well, what do you mean? She can't talk at all?
That's about the size of it. On the way over to the States, her ship was torpedoed, and she was in the water for 10 hours, poor kid, and the shock took away her powers of speech.
Can't anything be done about it?
Well, the best doctors in New York might have tried it, but it's no good. They just can't do a thing about it. Well, so long.
Yes, but how do we...
Oh, just behave as though nothing was wrong. She'll write you notes if she has anything to say to you, and you just treat her like you would anybody else. Just the same. No differences or distinctions. Well, thanks again, and nice to have met you, Mr. Peabody.
Oh, a closer Anglo-American relation.
Good morning. Oh.
Morning.
Where's the visitor?
Having a breakfast in bed.
Why, so she's not ill, is she?
No, I told Peabody to keep out of the way till we got over to the...
Well, that's a bit drastic on that, isn't it?
That's what I thought. I was looking forward to having a squint at her myself.
But the chief said no.
The trouble with you two is you've got no experience of women.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Definitely not.
Do you remember that little girl at Lord's during the Yorkshire match?
I'll say. What about the ebb and flow of the two brewers?
Yes, then there was that smashing piece of homework at Macy's.
I always thought old Floddy had the friendliest disposition of any girl I ever...
Now, listen, I didn't ask for a diary of your amorous adventures. I merely remarked that neither of you had any experience of women.
We were pointing out that that's not strictly true.
Oh, yes, but I mean real experience. Either of you been married, for instance?
No. You?
Yes, I have.
I thought you told us the night you arrived that you weren't married.
I'm not, but I have been. And let me tell you, it's not very pretty.
Then don't let us discuss it, old man.
No. Why bring up unpleasant subjects?
Because you're both of you likely to be swept off your feet by this little bit of Hardwick nonsense unless somebody steps in and protects you. You come down to breakfast in new suits and clean collars, Prendergast's even wearing a buttonhole, and you've got that nasty smelly stuff in your hair, and you've both shaved, you're laying yourselves wide open.
Oh, I'm just trying to be polite, that's all.
Yes, she's only here for one day. Not much chance of anything going wrong in that time, is there?
Well, that depends on two things, how you behave and whether she means to go or not.
You don't think she means to stay?
I don't know. I'm not taking any chances. Well, I'm going over to the lab now. I hope you'll both join me when you've finished your disgusting breakfast. Oh, by the way, you've got the telephone number of her lawyer, haven't you? Bring it over to the lab. I'll give him a ring from there.
Can you see anything on that?
Yes, I can see her. Quite plainly.
Really?
Yes.
What's she doing?
Well, it looks to me as though she's...
Go on, old man.
Well, it looks as though she's just about to settle down and read the newspaper.
Oh. Katie, here's Preston.
Well, a nice mess you two got us into.
Why? What happened?
Plenty. I rang the lawyers. The man that dealt with Sir Edward's affairs is in the forces, called up last week.
Well, surely there are enough partners. I mean, ink pen, page, and ink pen. One of them must know something about something.
Yes, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But they don't. The whole office seems to be run by one little man. He says he'll look it up, but he can't do it till next week. Then it's going to take days to find the files, because the filing clerk's been called up too.
Well, what are we going to do then?
Have a showdown right away. We've got to know where we stand. Now, come on.
Oh, wouldn't you rather handle this yourself?
After all, you're the boss.
No, this affects everybody. Besides, I want your support. Now, she's got to be out of here by tonight. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed. Good. Well, come on then. Now, Miss Hardwick, my colleagues and I have something to say to you. Something of the utmost importance. I hope you'll forgive me if I speak bluntly, or at any rate frankly, and don't attempt to conceal what my colleagues and I really feel. Oh, I beg your pardon, I'll try to remember.
May we see that note, Tony?
No, there's nothing in it at all, really.
Well, in that case,
Oh. We are busy men, Miss Hardwick. And our mode of life here leaves no room for a woman. You do understand? Good, I hoped you would. Well, then what we have to discuss, therefore, are the necessary arrangements for your billeting, so to speak, somewhere else. Would you mind if I asked you one or two questions? Well, have you any friends or relations to whom you might go? No school friends or acquaintances, even? Nobody in this country at all who would offer you hospitality for the time being? In America? Yes, well, of course, America's a long way off, isn't it? Now, my next question, Miss Hardwick, I'm afraid is an embarrassing one, but I must ask you. Would you mind telling us about your financial position? Is that all? Well, no bank account? No investment? Miss Hardwick, would you mind if I consulted with my colleagues for a moment? Miss Hardwick, I've already explained to you the very difficult position in which my colleagues and I find ourselves. To put it bluntly, there's no place in this house for a woman. On the other hand, there seems to be no place for you anywhere else. We suggest, therefore, that you should remain on here for the time being until other suitable arrangements can be made. And we feel sure that you will understand when we ask you to do everything in your power not to upset the even tenor of life in this establishment.
smelled it.
What's the matter? Smells pretty good to me.
That's what I thought. Tastes good, too.
All right, it does.
Haven't you two got any sense?
What do you mean by that?
Can't you see she's behind all this? She's worming her way into the household. She knows the quickest way to a man's heart through his stomach, so she feeds the brute.
Well, you must admit this is the best coffee you've ever tasted.
Yes, if she makes it like this and keeps out of the way, I don't see anything to complain about. You
Quite right. Give me another
She
cup.
won't keep out of the way. She'll encroach more and more until she's got you completely under her thumb. That's how they work. It started already.
Has it?
Well, of course it has. You blind? When did you last see flowers on the table? And a butter knife in the butter and a jam spoon in the jam. And a clean cloth in the middle of the week.
You see what I see?
Well, Hartley.
Flowers.
New curtains.
Where?
Oh, where are the clubs?
There, on the corner.
Oh, that's all right.
Say, do you know, I believe this place has been dusted.
Oh, Preston won't like that.
No, he won't.
Do you think we ought to dirty it down from a bit?
Certainly not. He can do his own dirtying. Ooh, cushions.
Looks jolly comfortable. Just what I've always wanted.
Who's been mucking about with this room? Looks like the parlor of Aunt Dorothy's cozy tea shoppy.
Of course not. Will you sit here? Going out, Tony?
No, I go to my room. Might manage to be alone, though.
Don't pay any attention to him. We like having you here. And the cushions are lovely. Aren't they, Fotheringham?
Oh, absolutely, wizard. And the coffee was, too.
Do stay.
Did you want me, Miss Gay? Of course you may stay if you wish to. I'll play you a little bit of one of my favorites, eh?
Morning.
Morning. Morning. Well, you may please yourself.
Yes, I feel rather pleased myself.
Any good reason?
A very good reason.
Are your friends allowed to know what it is?
Of course. Something happened to me this morning.
Well, what?
Well, I got up rather late. You know, I think that scotch that Tony got hold of was a bit under the counter.
I mean, you had a bib full.
Oh, are you listening?
No.
Good. Well, I went to get myself a clean pair of socks. When I opened the drawer, what do you think I found?
Dorothy Lamour.
No, better than that.
Better than that?
Yes.
Well, let me see. No, she doesn't wear a sarong. I give up.
But every blessed pair of socks I possess, beautifully darned and neatly rolled into little balls, you know. And then I tried looking for a shirt with 1 or 2 buttons still left on it. And there were all my shirts beautifully laid out in piles, absolutely smothered in buttons. Well...
Well, what?
Well, wouldn't you be pleased?
I am pleased. I'm very pleased, thank you.
What? You? Your socks?
Yes.
When?
Yesterday.
You never said anything about it.
I don't know about discussing my private life on them.
I always thought that was because you didn't have any. Of course, if she's doing it for everybody, then it isn't so exciting. That's damn decent.
Ah, but is she doing it for everybody? Does she darn your socks, Tony?
Certainly not. I keep my door locked.
You mean you don't want your socks down?
No.
Well, isn't that rather cutting off your sock to spite your foot?
No, just playing safe, that's all.
Excuse me, sir. Miss Gay's compliments, and if you've any darning or mending you'd like done, would you be good enough to leave it out with her before you go, sir?
My compliments to Miss Hardwick. And will you tell her, as long as she's a guest in this house, I, for one, will not dream of treating her as a seamstress.
Now, put the left hand round. That's right. Now, your right, put your little finger over your third. There you are. That's right. Now then, watch me. 1, 2. Now, slowly back. That's it. Keep the wrist supple. Hang on to the left. Now then, try a crack. Oh, bad luck.
Want any help, old man?
No, thanks. No, doing splendidly.
I see. Of course, Gay, if you really want to learn golf properly, you're just wasting your time.
I beg your pardon?
Well, everyone knows that in spite of your colossal luck, you're really quite a rabbit at the game.
Well, I beat you the other day.
That's what I mean. You have such colossal luck. Look at that ball, for instance. I bet you can't hold it in one from there.
How much says I can't?
5 bob?
5 bob, all right.
There you are, you see.
It's a very difficult shot.
I thought it looked quite simple, didn't you, Gay?
Like to have a go.
You insist?
All right, 5 bob.
All right, 5 bob. Ah. You mean you want to bet on it?
Don't you go. It's a very tricky shot.
Yes, shame to take the money. Of course, my mistake.
It's my mistake, too. Very expensive lesson.
All you need is a flick of the wrist and the right amount to follow through. You see? Now, let's try one, shall we? Well, supposing you want double 5. That's the outside ring where it says 5. Now then, all you do is squint along it. That's taking it in. And when I say bing, you bing. Right? Bing. Why, very good. 13. Never mind. Try again. Hold it like this. That's right. And squint along the dart. And take aim and bing. Never mind. Have another shot.
Want any help, man?
No, thanks.
No, I thought perhaps you did. You could never get double 5 yourself.
I don't recollect any particular difficulty in doing so.
What about last Tuesday? Took you a long time to get 10.
Peabody! Let's try another number, shall we? What about, 15?
Hello. Hello. Give me a pint, will you?
Yes, sir. Coming up, sir.
Like to make a 4, Tony?
Hmm?
Like to make a 4?
No, thanks. Have a drink.
Very handsome of you.
2 more pints, please.
Anything else, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Have one yourself.
Don't take any notice, Gay. He's got a liver, that's all.
I tell you what. What about running into Lembridge and seeing the local flick? Oh, come on. Do you good. Get you out of yourself.
Perhaps she doesn't want taking out of herself.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I've a nasty feeling the Gay does, too.
Oh. Sorry we can't take you with us, old chap. But you know there's only room in the old bus for two.
Peabody, another pint.
Well, good night, old girl. Thanks for coming and cheering me up.
Can I ask you something? Well, it's my day off on Saturday, and I thought perhaps we might slip up to town and do a show. Is that a date? Good. I'll ring up tomorrow and get the seat. Have a good time tonight. Just you wait till Saturday. Good night. Oh.
Where have you been, old man?
Oh, just taking a constitutional.
A bit late for that sort of thing, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I always think the night's the best time for a walk. I don't know.
Good night.
Any good?
No. You better get along, Jenkins. 12 o'clock. I'll pack it in myself soon.
Well, I don't mind staying there.
No, you've got to bed.
All right. Why don't you turn it in, too? We're working most of last night, you know.
Funny, you know, this formula should work out.
Yeah.
I'll have just one more crack at you. If it doesn't work out, then I'll call it a day.
Right. Good night.
Good night, Jenkins. What on earth are you doing here this summer night? What have you got there? You don't go. Stay and talk. Stay while I eat. Come, sit down. I'm pretty awful, don't you? Well, you've got every right to. I have behaved rather badly, I know, but it wasn't that I didn't like you as a person. It was just that, well, I don't like women very much. Who told you about her? Have those two been... Well, you guessed right. For 6 years, I was married to someone who turned me against women for the rest of my life. Oh, you needn't be sorry for me. I'm glad, really. I'm one of the lucky ones. We're divorced and I'm free. I'm my own master and I can do as I like. Not like some of these poor brutes I know who find themselves caught for life. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, except that I wanted you to know that I merely dislike women in general and not you in particular. As a matter of fact, you've been very charming and helpful since you've been here. And if I've been ungrateful, I apologize. Well, one little detail's hurting up the whole work. We can't get it right. Oh, it's one of those odd things that happen sometimes when you fool around with sounds. You know the answer ought to come out pat, and it doesn't. Nature just thumbs her nose at you. Well, I don't suppose it'll make much sense to you, but we know what our enrichment factors ought to be. That's if our measurements are correct and the rest of the physical data. The nuclear cross-sections, the latent heat, and the constant diffusions are in order. It's just that we can't get the degree of separation we calculated. Might be one of a dozen things. Might be... I'm afraid I'm boring you terribly. Well, that's about all, really. It's just that our formula depends on a high degree of purity in the reaction product. And to give us an explosive of high detonation rate. I wonder if compound B54 was... Yeah, wait a minute. Talking to you about it's given me an idea. I think it might work. Thank you, Gay. It's vital to remember that dissolved impurities may cause incomplete oxidation of the product of ignition. True that B and Q can be calculated without much trouble, but they have to be watched for various changes taking place in the friction tubes during cooling. Not cold, are you? I like being with you so much. You're sort of receptive. I feel I can talk to you, really talk to you, I mean. Well, as I was saying, these dissolved impurities are a bit of a nuisance. The identical instrument and weight of charge and power of explosive may be taken as proportional to the pressure developed. Thank you, Dad, for coming with me. Enjoy it? Really? You must come again sometime. That's a date. Good night. Yeah. It isn't the heat of the container that governs the expansion of the projectile. You are not being able to talk. No, I mean it, really. See, the average person goes on and on talking a great deal of nonsense, never really saying anything. Then comes the time when he wants to say something very bad, and he can't do it. He gets all tongue-tied. When he does talk, he's got nothing to say. When he has got something to say, he can't talk. That's why you're so wonderful. Being dumb hasn't harmed you at all. Made you kinder, more attractive. Or honest. I know it's an odd thing to say, but I think it's made you happier, too. I envy you. Yes, I do. Wish I'd got a little pad. I could just write down what I want to say instead of having to say it out loud. No, I can't. All right.
Wake up, friendly old man. What's the matter?
I had an awful dream.
Is that all?
Oh, it was more than a dream, it was a nightmare.
What was it about?
Oh, I can't tell you, it was so awful.
Oh, go on.
Oh, well, if you must know, I dreamt I was married.
Well, what's so terrible about that?
Oh, it was awful, thank heavens, I woke up.
You didn't, old man. I woke you up.
Yes, bless you, I shan't forget.
Watching.
Oh, well, I don't think I can tell you, really.
Oh, go on. We're all friends here.
Well, as a matter of fact, it was Gay.
Gay?
Yes, that was all in the dream, of course.
Oh, yes, of course, naturally.
I can't think how it all started. I only know that I was sitting there, saying to myself, that young girl's the loveliest bit of homework you've ever seen, my boy. And the words were hardly out of her mouth. Oh, there she was, sitting by my side, as large as life and twice as rheumatic. So, what did I do?
Well, what did you do?
Well, I kissed her, naturally.
I don't see anything natural about that.
You would if you'd been there, old boy. I kissed her, she kissed me back again. Before I knew where I was down on my knees saying, Gay, darling, I love you, will you marry me?
And she said, don't be a silly old so-and-so.
Oh, no, she didn't. She gave me one of those wonderful smiles. Oh, I can see it now. Nodded her head, and there I was, hooked. Give me another drink. I still feel a bit empty. There's one thing about it, it's taught me a lesson.
Oh, what's that?
Well, I'd rather have a nightmare than the real thing. Can you imagine really getting married?
Don't. It doesn't bear thinking about.
Even to a girl like Gay.
What do you mean, even with a girl like Gay?
Well, I mean, she'd be very peaceful about the house, but is that enough?
No. Think of the ties.
Until death do us part.
Yes, you see, that's the trouble about marriage. It'd be all right if it was only for a week at a time. Even a month would be a fair risk. But a life sentence... No.
After all, what does a man get out of marriage? Someone to darn his socks for him?
And take 3/4 of his pay packet for doing so.
Someone to cook his meals for him?
In exchange for giving up beer and cigarettes.
Someone to share his leisure hours with?
That's right. Except that he doesn't have any leisure anymore. Just fix this for me, dear. Mow the lawn, darling. Unstop the kitchen sink for me, dearest.
Yes, marriage is a wonderful thing. For women. What do you say, Tony?
What, me? Oh, I entirely agree with him.
You do?
Yes, I think everything you said is absolutely right.
Really?
Honestly.
Well, I'm so glad, Tony. Really, I am.
I'm so glad you're so glad. Oh, by the way, what are you two doing on Thursday?
Nothing, why?
Well, Gay and I are going to get married. We hope you both come along.
Should you marry Mr. Preston? Well, I don't know if I'm qualified to advise you on that. That's a woman's job, really, you know. I wonder what a woman would say if she were here now. I can tell you what my dad would have said. Yes, 3 of them I've had. All in the churchyard now. God rest their souls. Not that I'd wish them anywhere else, mind you. Well, my third, she was an educated, advanced woman. Had a proper thirst for culture, she had. She used to go to lectures on her evening off and stare at the pictures. Lectures, speeches, meetings, you couldn't drag her away from them. Then she got to making speeches herself. She used to have a pet speech about marriage. Very clever it was, too. I can remember some of it now as plain as though she were here. God forbid. Marriage, she used to say, is a modern form of slavery, invented by men for their own comfort and profit. By investing the small sum of 7 and 6, they become possessed of a housekeeper, cook, bottle washer, charwoman, nurse, mistress, companion, wife, and mother. All without further payment, except for a small weekly pittance that would be refused by any one of those people in the open market. Then, what about love, my dear, I used to ask. Love, she'd say? Don't talk to me about love. Love is just a disease that makes a woman do something in 2 minutes that she regrets for the rest of her life. Love is a disease. Marriage is the convalescence. And only the lucky ones recover from it completely. Oh, well, I suppose so.
Don't you think we ought to have another go at him?
Can if you like, old man. I don't think it'll make much difference.
We owe it to the old school to have another try.
What old school?
Oh, any old school, they're all the same.
Well, everything in the right place?
Yes, I think so.
Tony, I hope you won't take this amiss, but you quite sure you're doing the right thing?
Well, of course I'm sure. Come on, let's get it over.
Well, it's a very serious step.
An absolutely final step.
After all, we know next to nothing about it.
Look here, we've been into all this before. I know what I'm doing, my mind's made up, and I'm going into it with my eyes wide open.
Well, you should know, Tony.
Well, I should have thought after your last experience.
Listen, there was only one thing wrong with my last marriage, and that was that Molly could talk. Well, Gay can't.
Well, I admit you've got a point there.
Bet your life I have. 99 husbands out of 100 would envy me just that one thing.
Well, maybe you're right. But I have a feeling that you'll regret it.
I'm beginning to wish I'd asked 2 other people. Come on, now, which of you is the best man?
Well, I'm supposed to be. I must admit you're a better man than I am.
I've just checked up, sir. She'll be down in 2 ticks. I'll get along now, sir, if you don't mind.
Of course, Peabody.
Oh, thank you, sir.
My, you look lovely. Okay. Before we go, there's something I want to say to you. You know, you've no need to go on with this if you don't want to. I know it must be pretty worrying, being all alone, no home and all that sort of thing. But you don't have to marry Tony just because of that. You can stay here just as long as you want to. Anyway. Oh, you do? You sure? Well, then, there's nothing else to be said, then, is there?
Peabody? Good evening, sir. And madam. Your room's quite ready, sir.
Good, where do you put it?
At the front, sir. Mr. Fotheringham and Mr. Prendergast fixed it all up.
Where are they, in the saloon bar?
Oh, no, sir. The saloon bar's gone, sir.
Good Lord. Well, what on earth's going to happen to Mr. Fotheringham and Mr. Prendergast?
They've gone too, sir.
Gone?
Yes, sir. They left a message.
Where is it?
They instructed me to read it to you, sir. And madam. Roses are red, violets are blue, love nests are only intended for 2. In cases of true love, a third is de trop, so Prendy and I thought we'd better both go. Signed, Winslow Fotheringham, B.Sc., B.F., prospective poet laureate. P.S. See you at the lab tomorrow.
Where they gone?
They've got the hut at the far end of E Block, sir. They fixed it up splendidly with the saloon bar and a full-size midget golf course. It looks very homely.
Well, Mrs. Preston says, aren't you sorry not to be with them, right?
Well, madam, I suppose I am. But I miss their funny ways. But I'd rather be here. Yes, madam, I would really. You see, I always say home is where your heart is. Oh, thank you, madam. Will that be all, madam?
Yes, that's all, people.
Thank you, sir.
Well, what else do you do?
Oh, nothing much, really.
No, I suppose not.
Why not?
Well, ask yourself, old man.
Well, I am asking myself, and I can't answer myself. Didn't you play a few rounds of golf or go over to Merewood for cricket?
No, nothing like that.
A dull way of spending a honeymoon, that's all I can say.
No, it wasn't too dull, really.
How's Gay?
Oh, she's fine.
Do I detect a note of reservation?
No, everything's fine.
You sure?
Positive.
Oh.
Look, I've known you two quite a while now. I reckon I can talk to you.
Yes, of course you can, old chap. Go right ahead, you can tell us.
Well, to be perfectly frank, things haven't turned out quite as I expected.
You're disappointed?
Got you down.
No, nothing like that.
I know, she snores.
Oh, shut up, old man. This is something serious. She's not...
It's nothing to do with her. It's me.
You?
Well, remember how doubtful I was about marrying at all?
Lord, man, we were the doubtful ones.
Well, don't you think I was doubtful, too? When I had one disaster, I didn't want another. So I watched my step pretty carefully. I tried her out in 100 different ways, and she came through with flying colors. She had every quality a wife should have. I was certain of it.
And she hasn't?
Yes, she has. She's got everything, but I'm not satisfied.
Well, what on earth do you want?
I want to hear her talk. No, I'm not worried. I'm just thinking, that's all. If I tell you, it'll only upset you. Well, it's just that I can't help feeling there's something missing. Oh, darling, don't misunderstand me. I adore you. I love you more than I thought I could ever love anyone. And this time down here has made me supremely happy. Except for one thing. I want to hear you talk. I knew you'd be upset if I told you. Oh, I know it's foolish, but just because I love you so much, I want to be sure that you love me too. Oh, I know you do, really, but at least I think I know you do. I want to hear you say so just once. Oh, I'm a fool. I don't mind a bit, really, honestly, I don't. Look, I know what. You think of a way of saying it without saying it. Let's see. That means I love you. And that means I love you very much. Now you try. Oh, is that all? That's better.
Yes, sir. Dr. Peters will see Mrs. Preston now, sir.
Good. Well, darling. Well, never mind. We'll keep trying. Nice here, isn't it? Let's come here every year. Anyway, until our golden wedding. Thank you, darling. Looking forward to this evening? I like taking you to concert. You're the only woman I know who doesn't chatter to the bits I want to listen to. I'll go and see what's happening. Don't move. I'll be back in a minute.
Those people back! There's another mine down below!
Come on now. Peabody. Go on, right up to the end. Go on. Get a move on.
Come along, sir, please. Get along with the rest.
You got any rope?
Plenty.
Well, get it out. I'll have a go at putting this out of action.
I'm sorry, miss, nobody can go out. Those are my orders, miss. You're safer inside. There's another mine down below.
Torch around a bit, will you? A little flowers, will you?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Tricky bit of business, sir.
Yes, sort of tricky. Now, will you do something for me?
Yes, sir.
Take this. No, it's all right if you handle it kindly. And give it to the Navy's mine party with my compliments.
Very good, sir.
Better get somebody to anchor this chap, too.
Aren't you coming, sir?
No, I've got some unfinished business up there. Oi! Where is she?
Over there.
Gay. Gay, darling. Gay! It's all right, I've made it. What's the matter? Do you think you'd lost me? I heard you, you know. Yes, quite plainly. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, Peter said another shock might do it, and it has. Now, say something else. Say Tony. You needn't say it as loudly as you've said it before, but just say Tony, please. You can, I've heard you. Now, you said it once, you could say it again. Now, listen. If you lose this chance, you may never speak again. Don't you understand? This is your big chance. Now, just now when you were frightened, you spoke, didn't you? Well, if you did it then, you can do it now. Now, say something. Say anything. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say Mary had a little lamb. Say any damn thing you like, and say something. Now, you're going to hate me for this.
Tony!
There, now you've said it. Say it again. Again. What's that mean?
I love you. Oh, Tony.
Tony. Don't tell anyone yet.
Oh, but surely you want the boys to know.
Not yet.
Anything you say, my darling. But you talk to me, won't you? Well, go on, say it.
I love you.
You find that very hard to say, don't you?
Easy. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Yes, you said something. What was it?
Aspidistra.
What do you want an aspidistra for?
No reason. I just like to hear myself say it. So.
Why aspidistra? Why not palm?
Palm's too easy. I like to say long words. One after another. Lovely, lovely long words. They're like a poem. Or prayer. Listen. Aspidistra. Abracadabra. Licorice. Ipecacuata. Fotheringham and Prendergast. Morton in the Marsh, Manchester. Chrysanthemums and hollyhocks. Genesis, Exodus. Leviticus and Numbers. Chippendale and Sheridan. Alpha and Omega. Forever and ever words without end. Amen.
If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppercorns, how many pecks of pickled peppercorns did Peter Piper pick? Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit. If Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit, where's the buttered biscuit Billy Button bought? Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit. Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit. Where's the buttered biscuit Billy Button bought? Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit. If Billy Button bought a buttered biscuit, where's the buttered biscuit Billy Button bought?
Can I speak to you for a moment, sir?
Yes, of course, Peabody. Go ahead.
This is private, sir, if you don't mind.
Private?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, what is it?
It's a miracle, sir, unless it's a trick.
What's a miracle?
Miss Gay, sir, I beg your pardon. Mrs. Preston, sir. She's talking. Sorry, sir. But I heard it with my own eyes.
I know.
You know. You know.
She's been talking for a fortnight. But we don't want the others to know yet. Want to give them a surprise.
Well, it certainly gave me one, sir.
Now, you keep your mouth shut.
Oh, yes, sir, yes. I promise that, yes. I'll be as silent as she used to be, sir. I won't be...
Anything the matter?
Matter? No.
No.
One heart.
One spade.
Two hearts.
Two spades.
Do you say 2 hearts?
What's the matter with that, old man? She's entitled to call 2 hearts if she wants to.
But you did say it, didn't you?
Oh, let's get on with the game, old man.
Leave this to me, Fotheringham. Say it again.
2 hearts.
Good gracious me. She said it.
Well, that's what I said she said.
Gay, you can talk again.
Yes.
What?
Once again!
Look here, aren't we going to play anymore?
Oh, my dear fellow, this is no moment for cards.
Well, I've got a very good hand.
You dare prate about good hands? Gay can talk.
I know. She's been talking for 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Why didn't you tell us before?
We wanted it to be a surprise.
You can.
Say something.
Prendergast and Fotheringham.
Bless you.
I love you both very much. There, I waited 2 years to say that. Why, Prendy, I do believe you're crying.
Nonsense. I was excited, that's all.
Well, this certainly calls for celebration. My goodness, the dummy talks of Pygmalion and Galatea. Gentlemen, I give you a toast. To Gay, the girl with the golden voice.
What are you doing?
Vocal gymnastics, darling, isn't it fascinating? It's an idea of Dr. Taylor's. He says that when a voice hasn't been used for a long time, it gets like an athlete that's out of training. It has to have exercise and properly controlled gymnastics. Of course, talking quite simply and ordinary to understand is all right, of course, but obviously it doesn't give the voice full scope.
I wish you'd stay away from quacks like Taylor.
Darling, how can you say that Quack is the most advanced thinker in his field today? Everybody knows that. You know, that's the odd thing about you scientific people. You're always looking for something new, some fresh discovery in your own field. And yet when something quite new and tremendously exciting happens in any other field, you're the first to call it quackery or misrepresentation or just plain charlatanism. If I didn't know you so well or love you so much, I'd say it was jealousy. But it's just a state of mind. All the same, I won't have you saying those things about poor Dr. Taylor. He's a dear.
He's a puff.
Tony, he's a charming old thing and terribly, terribly clever. Going up and down the scale like that has made a terrific difference to my upper register, really it has.
It's made a terrific difference to my headache.
Oh, have you got a headache?
Only since I came in.
Oh, now you're teasing me. Well, aren't you going to kiss me? Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to ask Peabody about dinner. The boys are coming over.
Didn't say anything about it to me.
No, darling, I rang just after you left. I thought it'd make someone to talk to. You do want to see them, don't you?
No, not very much.
Oh, Tony, why ever not?
Well, I thought it'd be nice to have a quiet evening here for once.
No, darling, really, you mustn't get to be a stuffy old stay-at-home. I don't know what's come over you in the last week or two. You used to be so gay and debonair and agreeable, and now... Oh, well, of course, it must be your headache. Now, you sit right there, and I'll go and get you an aspirin. Oh, dear, I'm forgetting Peabody again. Peabody! Peabody! I don't think I shall ever forget the moment when I came out and saw poor Tony just disappearing over the side of the pier. You know you'll laugh at me past this all, darling. But for a moment I thought they were trying to hang him. Silly, isn't it? You see, there were yards and yards of rope, because, of course, they had to lower him right down over the side of the pier. There must have been at least 100 yards, I should think. What is it, darling?
It wasn't 100 yards. It was only 45 feet. And anyway, they've heard it all before.
Darling, how could they?
I told them.
Oh, I know you. You probably said, well, it was a pretty poverty-stricken show, old man. Just an ordinary common or garden mine. Nothing to write home about. I swear they never heard all the details, did you, boys?
Well, it was in all the papers, darling. Not a fuss about nothing.
Ah, now that's where we differ. The papers were wonderful. I think it's really remarkable the way they report things most of the time. So vivid. But really, they didn't do justice to this story at all. I suppose one can't blame them. I mean, after all, most of the reporters were men. And a story like that can only be really convincing when it's told from a woman's point of view. I mean, how can a man possibly understand the sort of feelings a woman must go through when she knows that her husband is going willingly and deliberately to face his death? Tony, you do know, don't you? I wouldn't dream of doing those exercises if they made you unhappy. Not even if it was absolutely essential to get my voice back. And of course it isn't essential at all. It just improves the tone and range of my voice, that's all. You know, I think music is the most satisfying thing in the world. Just to give oneself up to a lovely melody beautifully played. I think it's the most spiritually perfect experience any of us can have. Tony, I just had to come and talk to you for 5 minutes. I hope I'm not interrupting. But really, I thought if I had to stay in that house any longer with no one to talk to, I should go mad. I even tried to find Peabody. I thought at least I could talk to him for 5 minutes, but his door was locked, and when I called there was no answer, so I suppose he must be out. Unless, Tony, you don't think there could be anything wrong, do you? Oh, Tony, you do look so tired. Don't you think you ought to give up tonight? You know, if you go on overworking yourself like this, you'll have a breakdown. And that won't do anyone any good. You know, I sometimes find you men of science very hard to understand. I mean, you ought to know all about your bodies now. They can't go on and on without proper rest and recreation. And yet, you deliberately fly in the face of all that scientific knowledge and do the silliest things. Things that an ordinary, sensible, uneducated woman wouldn't dream of doing. Tony, is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong, except that if you go on talking like that, you'll drive me stark, tearing, raving mad.
But Tony, it was you who wanted me to talk.
Heaven forgive me, I did.
And now you're sorry.
Yes, now I'm sorry.
You don't mean that. You don't really mean it.
I'm afraid I do.
You mean you'd be glad if I never spoke again if I was done? I just can't believe it. I can't believe you could look me in the face and say such a thing. If ever I was sure of anyone, I was sure of you. Of course I know what it is. It's another woman.
Oh, really?
Well, what other reason could there be?
I've told you!
Well, obviously, that's just a blind to throw me off the scent, isn't it? Tony, I'd rather know the truth.
You want the truth? All right, you shall have it. Ever since the day you got your voice back, I've been the unhappiest man in the world. No, it's my own fault, I know. I had a wife I adored. I was fool enough to want her to talk. Well, I've learned my lesson. But it's too late now. I'm sick of the sound of your voice. Do you hear that? Prendergast's sick of the sound of it. So's Fotheringham. Peabody's given notice because he can't bear it any longer, and as for me, I shall go out of my mind if I don't get away from it. Well, you wanted the truth. Now you've got it.
We're just off, Tony.
Yes, we thought about having a round at Heathcote, just about naked before dark.
Wouldn't care to come along too, I suppose.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, see you in the morning.
Yeah, cheerio.
You might as well know she's left me.
Oh, I am sorry.
Oh, well, it's bound to happen sooner or later.
Oh, what made her go?
No, I just told her I couldn't stand her talking any longer. One or two other home truths, and she walked out of me.
When was that?
Last night.
Well, don't take to heart, Tony. She'll come back. If you wanted to.
That's just it. Do I?
Well, of course you do. Look at the date. I'll bet you a fiver she's back by May the 1st, just as if nothing had happened. Cheerio.
Listen, Tony, we want to talk to you about something.
Oh, what about?
Well, the work of the lab, for one thing.
What's the matter with the work in the lab?
It's in a bloody awful mess, that's what's the matter.
He's quite right, you know. No progress on anything for 2 months. Records all behind, and the staff getting out of hand. Do you know, only this morning one of the junior lab boys called me old cock.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
Go and get her back.
You really think I ought to get her back?
It seems to me we'll all be cuckoo if you don't.
Suppose if she starts talking 19 to the dozen again.
Well, she won't.
How do you know?
Well, not much.
Oh, look, Tony, anything would be better than us going on like this.
All right, you get her back. I'm not going to.
Okay, we'll even do that. It's going to make you happy.
You know where she is, I take it?
No. Don't you?
No. I haven't heard a word from her since the day she left.
For you, sir.
Oh, read it, will you?
Regret to inform you your wife seriously ill. Westminster Clinic. Please come at once. Matron.
Peabody, get Mr. Preston's coat. I'll get the car out for you, Tony.
Yes, send Muskrat back. Like us to come too?
No, thanks.
Well, let's know if we can help.
Yes, I will.
Good luck.
Your Captain.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Give our love to Garry.
Yes, I will.
Yes, miss? This is Mr. Preston, sister. Oh, good morning, Mr. Preston. You're bright and early.
Yes, can I see her?
Yes, I think so. She's had a pretty bad time. Don't stay too long.
No, I won't. Gay. What's happened? What's the matter? You mean you've lost your voice again? Completely? Oh, it's all my fault. I drove you away. If I hadn't done this, it would never have happened. I did so want to hear you say it. What do you mean, a lawyer? Oh, Gay, it hasn't come to that, has it?
Come and be introduced to your father.
You mean... Well, is there... But this is wonderful. Hello. Oh, she's a darling, isn't she? What is it?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Would you like to see him bath?
Yeah?
Well, I think we might let you just this once. What do you say, Mrs. Preston? Come along, then. This way. Come this way.
Hold on a minute.
Hello? Yes? Who is it?
Hello, yeah?
Oh, what is going on up there?
Boy's going.
We were cut off. How's Gay? Is she going to be all right?
Yes, she's going to be all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, quite sure.
Oh, in that case, put her on the line again.
Well, no, I can't do that.
Why not? I just spoke to her. I tell you, I did. Oh, don't be a blithering idiot, old man.
It's crazy. He said you just spoke to her.
What?
She's dumb. Yes, well, if you don't believe me, come up here and see for yourself. Goodbye now. What did you say?
So she's dumb again.
Oh, poor kid, how awful.
Yet I could have sworn... You know, if you ask me, maybe she can't talk, but she's not so dumb.
Oh, my darling. Me too.